They say the Old West was built on three things: dust, danger, and destiny. But what happened the day I rode into Hollow Creek? That was something different. Something fate wrote down long before I was born. If you're hearing this tale, hit that subscribe button, because once this story begins, you won't be able to leave until the truth reveals itself. Now listen closely. I had been riding for 3 days straight, hunting work, shelter, or maybe just a reason to keep going. The wind carried the smell of rain, and the clouds looked heavy as iron. My horse, Rusty, was tired, and so was I. When I entered the village, everything felt wrong, too quiet, too still. You know the kind of silence that makes your spine itch? That's the one. I could feel eyes on me long before I saw a soul. Then she stepped out, an old native woman, wrinkled like the desert earth, but standing strong, fearless. She pointed her finger at me like she'd been waiting for me forever. "You," she said. Her voice cracked like a whip. "I heard you're looking for a wife." I froze. I hadn't told a single soul that, not on this side of the frontier. How did she know? What else did she know? Before I could speak, she jerked her thumb toward the shadows behind her. "My daughter," she said. "She is perfect for you." Out stepped a young woman, tall, graceful, eyes like a calm river, but hiding storms behind them. She didn't smile, didn't flinch, just stared at me like she already knew who I was, what I'd done, and what fate tied between us. "Why me?" I whispered. The old woman stepped closer, lowering her voice. "Because destiny is coming for you, and you won't survive it alone." The wind picked up. A door slammed somewhere behind us. Horses neighed nervously. "What destiny?" I asked. She didn't blink. "The kind that kills men who walk alone." A chill crawled down my neck. I didn't believe in omens, didn't believe in fate. But the way the sky darkened, the way the daughter stared, the way the village held its breath, something was coming, something dangerous, and somehow marrying her daughter was the only way out. But I didn't know then. That saying yes would pull me into the deepest, darkest part of the West, where love wasn't the only thing waiting. Secrets were, blood was, and a truth that would change everything I thought I knew about myself. And about her. Her name was Ayana. When the old woman, her mother Tala, led me inside their wooden lodge, Ayana followed silently, her footsteps soft as drifting snow. She did not speak, not even when Tala told her to sit beside me at the fire. It felt strange. A woman offered to me like fate had written it. But there was something deeper, something unspoken, something heavy in the air. Tala handed me a cup of herbal tea. "Drink. Your spirit is tired." I hesitated. "Why are you helping me?" She leaned forward, her face catching the firelight. "Because you carry a shadow. Behind you, a long one." I almost choked. Nobody knew that. Nobody knew the men who were hunting me, the outlaws I'd crossed, the blood debt they swore to settle. But Ayana knew. I could see it in her eyes, the way she studied me like she was reading every scar, every secret. "You're being followed," Ayana finally spoke, her voice soft, almost musical. I turned sharply to her. "How do you know?" She looked into the fire. "Because I saw them before you arrived. 3 men, one with a scar across his mouth. They were asking about a cowboy on a brown horse." My blood turned cold. Scar-mouth Sam, a killer with no conscience and a memory like stone. I stood up fast. "I've got to go. I can't bring danger here." Ayana rose just as quickly and blocked the doorway. "You leave now," she said. "And you die." There was no fear in her voice, just certainty. Tala placed her weathered hand on my arm. "She is right. The men who hunt you won't stop. They will burn the land just to find your bones, but they fear one thing." "What's that?" I asked. "Prophecy." I frowned. "I don't believe in magic or destiny." But Tala's eyes sparkled with a sad wisdom. "Belief is not required for truth. Ayana stepped closer, her face inches from mine. My mother's dreams are never wrong. She saw you coming, she saw your blood on the ground, and she saw me standing beside you, keeping you alive. My chest tightened. Something unexplainable passed between us, a silent connection, a pull stronger than reason. No man survives Scarmouth Sam alone, Ayana said, but with me, you have a chance. I looked at her, at the quiet strength in her eyes, at the fire reflecting in her dark irises. Why help me? I whispered. Ayana lowered her gaze. Because destiny doesn't ask permission. Outside, thunder cracked like gunfire. The storm had arrived, but it wasn't the only one coming. Night fell heavy over Hollow Creek, the rain hitting the ground like thousands of tiny bullets. Inside the lodge, the fire burned bright, but the chill in the air was impossible to ignore. Ayana began preparing herbs, mixing, crushing, whispering prayers I couldn't understand. Tala watched me, her eyes studying my every movement, as if searching for something hidden. You still don't trust us, she said finally. I sighed. I'm not used to kindness. Most people only help when they want something. Tala smiled sadly. And what do you think we want? I didn't answer. Maybe I didn't want to know. Ayana brought a bowl of crushed herbs to me. This will keep you awake tonight. You'll need to be ready. For what? She looked toward the entrance. The men hunting you. They're close. As if on cue, a distant howl of wind broke through the storm, a sound too sharp to be just weather. Ayana sat across from me, her face soft in the flickering firelight. You've lived a hard life. I nodded slowly. Harder than I wanted. She touched one of my scars, so gently it felt like a memory instead of a finger. Pain does not make you weak, she whispered. It prepares you for what love requires. The warmth of her hand lingered even when she pulled back. Something inside me shifted, like a locked door cracking open. Tala stood lifting her staff. You must bind your destinies before sunrise. I froze. Bind, you mean? Yes, Ayana said quietly. A marriage of souls, not for love, but for protection. My heart thudded. Marriage wasn't something I'd ever imagined. My life was dust, roads, and regrets, not weddings, not forever. But Ayana wasn't just any woman. She was calm in chaos, fire in silence, strength in softness, and she had already risked her life for mine. What happens if I refuse? I asked. Tala's expression darkened. Scarmouth Sam kills you, and then he kills her. The fire crackled. Ayana's eyes didn't flinch. If you leave me behind, she said, I die. My mother dies, and you die first. Thunder shook the walls. I felt the truth in her words as deeply as the storm outside. My voice came out low. What do I have to do? Ayana took my hands, both of them, and pressed them to her heart. Stand with me, she whispered, and I will stand with you. The moment felt unreal, too soft for a world so cruel. But something ancient pulsed through the room, like the whole West had paused to watch us choose. I nodded. I'll stay. Ayana's lips parted in the slightest, gentlest smile I'd ever seen, the kind of smile a dying man might live for. Before dawn, the storm stopped. The world outside lay quiet, fresh, and dangerous. I stood beside Ayana as Tala circled us with burning sage, chanting the old words of protection. You are bound, Tala said firmly, not by law, not by papers, but by spirit. Ayana squeezed my hand. A warmth spread through me, an unfamiliar, terrifying, wonderful feeling. Before I could speak, a shotgun blast exploded outside. The ground shook, horses screamed, Scarmouth Sam had arrived. Ayana didn't panic. She reached for her bow, her fingers steady as stone. Stay behind me, she said. I almost laughed. I'm the one with the gun. She gave me a look sharp enough to cut iron. Then fight beside me, not in front. We fight together now. I nodded. She was right. This wasn't just my battle anymore. We stepped outside into the pale morning light. Scarmouth Sam stood at the edge of the village, flanked by two men, rifles pointed at us. His twisted grin stretched across his scar. "Well," he shouted, "look who found himself a girl." Ayana drew an arrow. I cocked my revolver. Sam laughed. "You think she'll save you, cowboy?" Ayana's voice was calm as a river. "No, I will end you." Before Sam could react, her arrow sliced through the air with a whistle, hitting one of his men square in the chest. Gunfire erupted. I fired back, the recoil shaking my arm. Ayana moved like wind, silent and deadly, loosing arrow after arrow with impossible precision. Sam cursed, ducking behind a wagon. "You think you can beat me?" he screamed. "I own this land." "No," Ayana said, stepping forward. "This land owns you." Her final arrow struck his shoulder. Sam stumbled. That was my chance. I walked toward him, revolver raised. Sam spat blood. "You really think she's your wife?" I pressed the barrel against his forehead. "No," I said quietly. "She's my destiny." I pulled the trigger. Sam fell. Silence flooded the air. Ayana walked to me, her eyes shining, not with fear, but with something warm, something new. "You chose right," she whispered. I touched her cheek gently. "No," I said. "You chose me." Tala approached, tears glistening. "The danger is over. You're both free now." But freedom felt different than I expected. It felt like home. Ayana slid her hand into mine. "Where will you go now?" I looked at her, at the village, at the rising sun. "For the first time," I said softly, "I don't want to go anywhere." Ayana smiled. "Then stay." And I did, because destiny wasn't chasing me anymore. Destiny was standing right beside me, with braided hair, fearless eyes, and a heart strong enough to save mine.